I couldn't even get past day 3 of NoFap. I would start it, I'd be so motivated, I'd get the first day in, and then I'd just have these fucking massive, rock hard erections that were so hard to deal with. Day 2, day 3, basically every single time, I'd relapse. And I wouldn't just relapse and try and go again. I would have a full-on, full-time gooning day where I'd be like, well, I'm already on day 0, so I may as well just go again and again and again, and I'll start fresh from tomorrow. That was about 10 years ago, and now I've got to the point where I don't even remember sometimes that I'm on NoFap because it genuinely doesn't feel like a problem for me. So this is what I'd call the golden point of NoFap, where you're so used to it, you've become so good at it, that you don't even think about it anymore, and now your mind can just obsess over some other goal. So in this video, I want to go through exactly what actually worked for me. I don't want to just give you some basic advice or spend loads of time explaining what NoFap is and why porn is a problem. It's just going to be a tactical, just do this on your phone to make progress kind of video. So the first piece of advice that I want to give you is to get off these social media apps. So back in 2015, when I first discovered NoFap, I agreed with the message just like you did. There was something about this idea of not watching porn and jacking off that straight away convinced me that, yep, this is the better way to live. And yet, of course, porn is a bad thing. I just accepted the message right away. The problem was that I changed nothing other than just the idea to try not to jack off. So I would wake up and I would do the same thing that I was doing just the days before, which was the first thing I'd do is I would scroll. I would go onto Reddit and Instagram and scroll and scroll and scroll. And that's where I'd usually be jacking off to. That's usually where, I'd scroll in the morning, end up seeing some softcore porn, some fitness model on Instagram or on Reddit. You fully get porn that just comes up on the feed. And I'd end up watching it in the morning and then jacking off. When I got onto NoFap, I didn't change that habit. So what do you think happened? I wake up, I start scrolling, I see the content, and then I jack off before I even realized what was happening. I just kind of let myself have it for that day. And this is the problem with social media. There was a guy I was speaking to yesterday, and he said that he used to watch my videos, and he said that he respected me because in one of the videos he watched, I literally said to the camera that at some point you should stop watching me. And he said, that's a level of authenticity you basically don't see anywhere else. I'm one of the very, very, rare, if the only creator on the internet who actually tells you, you shouldn't be watching content, including mine, past a certain point. Because social media, at worst, it's softcore porn. You know this, right? When you spend time on YouTube and especially on Instagram, and if you use TikTok and Snapchat, at worst, bro, it's just constant with triggers that will spike this urge inside of you. It's bad for your goals. But at best case scenario from social media, from consumption, it's just a waste of time. Now, being a creator on these apps is fucking awesome. 100%, I will not ever change that message. Creating content can make you rich as fuck, and it can give you this purposeful business like I have. In fact, I actually have a whole other YouTube channel, which I'm not sure if you know about, where I teach how to be a content creator. You could just search Hamza Advanced if you're interested. And that's it's awesome. By all means, be a content creator. But being a content consumer, I'm telling you, there's very little benefit. Now, I'm biased, and I'm going to say something which is probably going to sound arrogant as fuck. I genuinely believe that here on this channel, with me, I make the best content on the internet. When it comes to educational self-improvement content, content that actually helps people, I genuinely believe my content is the most helpful on the entire internet. There's very little clickbait. I give the message in a way that actually makes people take action. Millions of guys have started self-improvement because of me. Thousands of guys have started businesses because of me. Millions of guys have meditated, journaled, and stuff because of me. So this is my weird biased advice, which I'm going to sound like an asshole for saying this, but I would tell you is basically instantly stop watching everyone apart from some of these videos that I produce that have already proven to you that they work. Because the problem with being a content consumer is, and you have all these apps on your phone, is, well, you go on these apps and you tell yourself there's a productive reason to do so. You're going to go message someone that you need to speak to, or you're going to go watch this podcast or this video, or this guy's Instagram page because he gives some tips or whatever. And that's how it starts, but then you end up jacking off because you go on these apps and then there's just a whole host of degeneracy in here. This is actually why, and I didn't think I'd be selling it right at this point, but this is why I made this program here, which is behind me, where basically I make like super long detailed courses, but I put it inside of this program where there's no distractions, there's no random fucking softcore porn or anything. And the guys who join my programs, they say that they literally delete all their social media, even YouTube, Instagram, everything, because they'd rather just log into this website where they get the same kind of like educational content that I make here. It's actually like next level, it's more advanced and everything. But then there's no random fucking urges being triggered on this, like, you know, the platform we have, like I have this educational platform. So if you're interested, that would probably be the best way for you to still learn from videos like this, but then not have the problem of like you go onto YouTube and to Instagram to, you know, randomly consume someone's content and then you end up jacking off. So if you want, like, I genuinely really think it'd be good for you. It's the top link in the description. It's like an educational self-improvement place where I make videos like this, but just next level. But the solution to getting off these social media apps is to go on a dopamine detox. A few years ago, people used to say a dopamine detox was where you'd have one day of the week where you would do none of the bad dopamine activities like scrolling on your phone or watching TV or eating that like hyper palatable food. You'd have one day where you just don't do that. I am telling you to do something more extreme, which is to live like that 24/7. Be the weird guy who doesn't have Instagram on his phone. Be the weird guy who his phone is black and white. Like, you know, there's a setting you can search for on your phone called grayscale, and you make it black and fucking white. Be the guy who has no notifications on his phone, no social media apps on his phone, where when you're speaking to a girl and she asks what your Instagram is, you're the weird guy who says like, no, I don't use social media. That's like, there's something remarkable about that. More and more, any guy who gets to say that fucking big dick sentence of, I don't use social media, that's a fucking flex. And the only flex that's bigger than that is, I don't consume or use social media, but I make millions of dollars from social media by being a creator. I'm the drug dealer. I don't take the drug myself. So just think of that identity change, like this self-image. Be that fucking guy who's so serious on self-improvement. He doesn't even have the fucking apps on his phone. He doesn't even use them. He doesn't consume them. When some girl, like some little retard girl next to you, starts doing the fucking TikTok dance, or she says the trend or whatever, and you don't understand, and everyone's looking at you like, oh, what, you don't know the new TikTok trend where we all like, we all dance or some shit like that? You're like, nope, I don't look at that stuff. You will be weird for this, especially if you're in high school. People will think you're weird, but you will be the remarkable, unique person who's not falling into the degeneracy of these apps, because that's where most of the triggers to relapse come from. By the way, inside of this program that I just mentioned, there's a course from Jack Piggott, who has about 2 million subscribers in this niche of like overcoming lust. And he's never made a course before, so we actually got him. I paid him like $1,500 or something to make this training for the guys who were inside of this program. So if you wanted someone else's advice as well, like another expert in the space, you get all of it inside of this program. So you could just go and have a look if you want, because I think it's a fucking awesome program. It's the cheapest thing I've ever sold as well, so it feels like a steal. The guys join it like, holy fuck, I can't believe Hamza's selling this for like $30. The second bit of advice I'm going to give you when it comes to not relapsing is to get off the dating apps. So we just spoke about the social media apps, Instagram and Snapchat and whatever. Now let's talk about the dating apps like Bumble and Hinge and Tinder. So back in 2022, I went to Thailand with my friend, and it started as like this self-improvement trip. You know, we were training Muay Thai and being productive, whatever. But very quickly, I downloaded one of the dating apps, you know, because I was a horny guy. I was like 24 years old or something. I was horny as fuck. And there was one particular day, I still remember this, where I was so horny and I was so in this haze, like this lustful haze, where I was on Tinder. I'd message a few girls there. You know, you swipe up to change the app, and I'd swipe to a different dating app like Bumble, and I'd message a few girls there. Then I'd swipe up and message the girls on Hinge. Then after doing that, I swear to God, I swiped up and I went back on Tinder, and I stayed in this fucking like this switching apps kind of mode for hours just messaging different girls, this app, this app, this app. I have like very good Tinder pictures, so I get a lot of matches. So basically it was like a full-time job, just constantly messaging every girl that I was meeting. And then I remember looking back at that and just feeling like it's so dirty. It's so like, just very fucking degenerate. Now look, some people can use these dating apps appropriately. They can go on, make a profile that's not very degenerate and try and meet some high quality people. Other people can't do that. And I'm one of those people. And you need to know whether you are or not. If you're like the type of guy who can have like an appropriate Tinder profile that makes you look like a husband and you're meeting some wife quality women from there, okay, sure. But for me, bro, my Tinder profile makes me look like a massive fucking degen, and I get a lot of girls who want to fuck me right away, which is hot. Like I know that sounds like boasting or something, and it's like a first world problem or something. But it's hard as fuck to discipline yourself when you get 100 matches a day on Tinder, and your pictures are like fucking god tier, where you look like fucking handsome as fuck, physique looks insane, you've got to think about the level of life I've got to. It's very attractive to women. And so it becomes very difficult for me to use these apps in a way that's not extremely lustful. And I even tried this recently. Recently I downloaded one of the apps again. I downloaded Bumble. And what went from me enjoying my life here in Bali to this same degeneracy where it just felt so dirty. Like when I meet a woman in the day-to-day, it feels so wholesome. Like I'll go to the gym, there's a girl who smiles at me, I have this conversation, it's funny, whatever. But on these apps, it is just completely degenerate. And I know this is gonna be controversial, but I'm telling you right now, I have 100% concluded that the women from these dating apps are lower quality than the women you meet in real life. And I know you're watching this thinking, well, yeah, obviously. But I've had now enough experiences to tell you consistently the women on these apps are significantly lower quality than the woman you'll meet in real life who, for example, doesn't have the app. Maybe she downloaded it for a few weeks, whatever. But most women you meet in real life have probably downloaded the apps at some point, but they're not like actively using them. The girls who are actively using them, who are like, they'll come over to my place or something, it's just that you don't want to be around these like low quality kind of people. Of course, I'm low quality for being there as well. But the best energy comes when you meet someone in real life, in one of the environments that you actually like. So for guys like us, the gym is the best place for this, especially if you go to a gym which is more like a health club, which is what I would recommend when you make enough money. When you go to a normal like weightlifting gym, it's a bit hard because everyone's just kind of focused. When you move to a place like Bali and there's health clubs which have like spas and restaurants and co-working spaces and outdoor area with the pool and sauna and ice bath, there's pretty women all around you, and it feels so wholesome to walk up and to speak to them, and it feels so real compared to just ordering a girl like it's fucking Uber Eats or something, and she gets delivered to your place. It feels completely different. So get off the dating apps. Honestly, I know there's people online who'll tell you like, no, you can use them well, whatever. I've tried. For me personally, I can't fucking use it well, and I would guarantee it's the same thing for you. If right now you're thinking like, yeah, sure, but like, I could probably like fuck one girl from there like every few weeks, so I'm not gonna do it. There's that one girl I'm messaging right now, she might reply soon. Bro, come on. Oh yeah, like I'll just wait until this one girl replies, and then I'll get her on Instagram, and then I'll quit the app. Like, you have to quit the addiction, the bad habit when it's still in front of you. The fat motherfucker, like you're acting like a fat bitch basically. The fat bitch sits there and she says, oh, I'll start the diet from tomorrow after I eat this chocolate cake. The guy who actually starts the real diet has the chocolate cake in front of him and he says, you know what, the diet starts right fucking now, not after this. It's the same with like the relapsing thing. You don't fucking say, oh yeah, I'll goon 3 more times, then I'll take it seriously from tomorrow. No, motherfucker, you stop right in this moment. So if you're feeling lustful like crazy, and this is one of the biggest problems in your life, which it is if you clicked on this fucking video, then if you've got these apps on your phone, don't you fucking lie to yourself and say, oh, well, after this one girl replies, tomorrow I'll probably delete it, because I'm telling you, these apps are making you way more lustful. And here's the thing, right? Because there is a bit of an advantage, a benefit to using these apps, right? Because you will meet more women. But I'm telling you, this was my conclusion recently. Overall, your like dating and sex life will feel worse when you use these apps, even though you will meet more women because of the nature of meeting some girls from here compared to just meeting girls in real life. When you meet girls in real life and you act like that's the only way that you can meet girls, you will have this pleasantness about you. The moment you start doing this online dating bullshit where you're trying to find girls on Instagram, where you're using these apps, it's like you will meet and fuck more girls that way, but I'm telling you, overall, you'll be less satisfied in dating and sex anyway. So like you've got to use that mindset and think like, yeah, like there's a weird advantage, like a benefit, you know, I'll meet more girls, but I'll be less happy about my dating life. Like I promise you, this is the truth. It's better to be in one of those dry spells, you know, where it's been months since you've dated a girl or whatever. It's better to be in that, but to just have this mindset of like, yeah, I'm working on myself, I'm going to the gym, I'm focused, I'll speak to a girl when I see her, than it is for you to think, okay, if I just try and fuck a girl quickly from one of these dating apps, okay, I'll just go on fucking Instagram and try and find like, you know, these girls to fuck with or to date or something fast as fuck, and then I'll stop. No. Just overall, you're going to have a way better life, dating life and sex life, when you're the type of guy who doesn't use this modern degeneracy shit. Go meet girls in real life. I'm telling you, like, I've done both ways. And also, I'm telling you right now, this is not a boast or a lie. I have the best like sort of results on dating apps out of any man you've ever seen, including celebrities and guys who are 10 out of 10 models and stuff. I have done better on dating apps than any guy you've ever seen in your entire life. It's fucking insane how well my sort of Tinder profile pictures and stuff do. It's insane of how well I get 100 matches every single day. You don't realize and how good I am at the texting and whatever, because this is the shit I focused on in university instead of actually focusing on university. So this is not even coming from a loser who's getting no matches saying, yeah, these dating apps don't work. No, they do work. For me, they fucking work. If I want to meet a girl today, I could download the app and I will have at least 2-3 girls who will want to come over. Like, they'll literally, like, you don't realize the fucking level I've got to, where girls travel an hour on the back of a fucking bike. Like, I live in Bali, so like the taxis are like motorbikes. They'll sit on the back of a fucking bike with the rickety kind of like, you know, roads and stuff. They'll travel a fucking hour to walk here, not for a date, but to come straight to my place, to suck my dick and then go home. So I have a level of like degeneracy, but like success in this area more than basically any other guy you've ever met. Girls don't travel an hour to go suck a guy's dick and then go home after that, of any man you've ever seen, including all these fucking pretty boys and everything else. And I'm still telling you, I promise you, it's still not worth it. I hopefully there's no fucking insecure guy saying, oh, he's boasting something, because I'm telling you, even when you've got to this level where girls think you're the ultimate fucking Chad, and you have that personality where girls will literally fucking commute to, not even to fuck, but just to suck your dick and go home. And this isn't like, you know, a one-time thing that it's happened and I'm like riding that high, but this is like a very consistent thing. I'm telling you, it's still not worth it. Your self-image will degrade because you know it's a bit of a dirty, degenerate thing. When you meet a girl in real life and it's wholesome and you flirt with her in the gym and then you go on a date with her or something, okay, then it's awesome. It's like this self-image boost. You feel fucking awesome. You feel excited for it. But every single time you meet a girl from one of these dating apps, there's always like a sort of a dirty kind of lens with it. It's just, it's got bad vibrational energy or whatever the fuck you want to say. There's a few of these guys I've seen on YouTube, and I know for a fact that like they react to my videos all the time. They'll be like, oh yeah, right, dude, Tinder's the easiest way to meet girls and stuff. But you can take one look at these guys and they just look like dirty, degenerate guys. They look like they've got no fucking soul. Hopefully one of those fucking ugly motherfuckers is reviewing this video, because they do that shit all the time. They don't make their own content. They like react to other people's content. Just take a look at their fucking faces. Any guy who tells you like, yeah, bro, like hop on these apps, just look at his face and you'll just, they look like they've got no fucking soul. They look like God has touched each and every one of us apart from him. Just next time you see one of these people, just have a look at that. You know, some guy comes up to you showing you the app or something. Just look at his face and you'll know what I mean. And the thing is, the guy could be objectively kind of attractive, but there's just a kind of a certain look in a guy who's this lustful that he's using one of these modern day degenerate apps. So I would really recommend, don't use the apps. And then you're wondering, okay, but like, how could I meet some women? Because I still want to date. I still want to maybe fuck and get some experience. And then I would say, if you are a guy like me, where you're on self-improvement, you're happy, you're leveling up in life, This is gonna sound crazy as this action step, but move to fucking Bali. Honestly, like I keep saying this, listen, if you're anything like me, which you are, if you've watched all this video, I guarantee you and I are very alike. This is the place for people like us. You don't realize how fucking good this place is. So Bali, in what's called the Canggu area, this is the place where I'm telling you, like, every girl you meet is on self-improvement. The happy kind of personality that we have, you know, when you're in the gym with your friends or you're laughing, that actually gets you so many women here. It's insane. Of like, literally, you will just go to the gym, be in a happy mood with your friends, and girls will walk past and smile at you and basically give you the opener for you to go and speak to them. It's so fucking, like, it's such a nice place to be if you're the type of guy who's on self-improvement. Now, that sounds like a crazy action step because you're not going to move here in the next 6 months or 12 months, but it can be kind of like the goal that's in your mind where you're thinking, yeah, fuck it, like, I've always, you know, I'm going to travel at some point in my life. Me and Hamza seem to have similar values. That's why his videos always worked for me. So fuck it, I'll set the goal to go there, go stay there for a month and see if I like it. And then maybe you can come here like later this year or next year. On this program that I mentioned, by the way, we actually have a map feature which shows you roughly where everyone is. And so you can literally meet friends on self-improvement and then travel with them. So we have guys who travel together. We have guys, you know, like if you're 16 years old, you're not going to be doing this, but we have guys who travel together, live together. People are booking flights and stuff and coming over to Bali together in groups so that they're with their like self-improvement friends. Let me just quickly show you actually. Let me just shill this product to you a little bit more. So you see all these, this is the map. See that? See all the little black circles? So they're like groups of our fucking students. So we've got like 120 guys right here in London and stuff like that. So it's pretty fucking awesome, isn't it? So you can basically go find your own city, message someone who lives close to you, and then organize to like do workouts together and whatever. And then, yeah, if you end up making a good friend from that, you can travel with them in the future, which is fucking awesome, isn't it? So the third piece of advice I want to give you is how you can fill up the vacuum of the time that is now not being wasted. Because like, if you're the type of guy who, when you jack off, you just do a fast fucking power wank and then you're done. Okay, there's not much time used. But I think most guys who are watching this jack off like how I used to, where you'll edge for like an hour straight. Like you'll be searching for the perfect video. You'll be like on page fucking 51 of Pornhub. You'll be just going from Instagram ho to Instagram ho to Instagram ho, waiting for 30 minutes for this girl on Snapchat to maybe send you like a fucking nipple picture or some shit like that, where it takes a lot of fucking time, right? So the biggest thing you can think of is that time is going to be free. And if you can use that time productively, you'll be distracted from these urges. So what should you do with like the 5-10 hours a week that you're not in this like gooning mode anymore? And the first idea I'd give you is start a business. Like literally become a content creator. It's the best business you can possibly start. I mentioned that I have another YouTube channel where I literally teach you how to be a YouTuber. And you can search Hamza Advanced on YouTube and you'll find this other channel I've got. It's fucking awesome, bro. I've got young guys who are on self-improvement, but they always had like free time. So they'd end up just like scrolling or, you know, hanging out with their old retard friends who are just playing video games or jacking off or whatever. But when you start a business, you have like this thing which can take as much time as you could give into it. And the more time you put into your business, often the more money you'll make. So it becomes like this positive kind of thing in your life where you're like, yeah, like I could just like focus on my business instead. Like I've got a business. I could get a sale. I could make $1,000 soon if I just focus on it. And there's more of a reason now for you to not be doing any of these degenerate habits like scrolling on these fucking apps or using dating apps or whatever. It was actually starting this business that was one of the biggest sort of motivators or reasons for me to stop using things like these dating apps and consuming on social media. Because when you have a business and when you're making money from it, so you're not going to make money from it just yet, but let's say you get your first sale and you start making $500 a month, $1,000 a month in, you know, a couple months from now, then you start thinking that your time is actually valuable. And that's such a good realization because you realize that your free time can be put into making money in your business. Not just the time that you're at school or at, you know, some job, which is like a specific time. But when you have a business, you can work on it 24/7. And so something clicks in your brain and you start thinking like, yeah, like why would I sit around and do some of these stupid habits? Because the 1 hour that I spend scrolling on Instagram, just edging my fucking cock, I can spend in my business and I'll make like $25, $50 from that. And I could increase how much I make by hundreds of dollars this month if I just don't jack off at all and I put all my time into business. So this is one of the biggest things that actually stopped me from being as much of a degenerate. Was I just had somewhere more productive to focus my time and energy. And this goes even deeper than just like jacking off, because when you have a business, the beautiful thing is it's like a career that you actually really care about. That starts to become the priority in your life compared to women, which is the priority for most young guys, because we're just pulled by our pleasure-seeking little animalistic brains. This is so valuable. Like, just think about that. Imagine if you had a very, very genuinely clear priority in life, which was no longer women and sex. Now, you're thinking, no, yeah, women and sex aren't my priority. Like, my priority is like my fitness. No. If you're thinking about it more than anything else, which you are with women and sex, then it is the priority, whether you want it to be or not. Business very quickly becomes one of those things that you'll think about a lot. And that is basically how something is the priority of your life. It's just how much you think about it compared to other things. So it really helped me with not just like not relapsing with these stupid apps, but also with it kind of helped me with dating, because it made me de-pedestalize women and pedestalize my own journey, my own goals, which also makes you more attractive to women. And if you're more attractive to women, you're going on dates, you're having sex, then you're also less likely to jack off like a little fucking beta male monkey as well. So that's one thing you can do to use some of this time. But the other thing you can do actually, and this is a piece of advice that I recently just came up with, is stay in the gym all day. Like, just think about this. We have this weird belief that you can go to the gym for like an hour, hour and a half, like 5 days a week, right? And if you do anything more than that, it's overtraining. But you actually know that's kind of bullshit. You could go to the gym 2 times a day and just figure out something else to do. Like, for example, you can go to the gym in the morning and do like your resistance training. But then you can go to the gym again and do cardio, and that's not overtraining. Anyone who tells you 2 workouts a day is overtraining is just a fucking retard. Yeah, 2 weightlifting sessions a day might be overtraining, sure. But in the morning doing weightlifting, and in the afternoon doing mobility or cardio, that's not overtraining. Every fucking athlete trains 2, 3, 4 times a day, like pro athletes, like the MMA fighters and stuff. They all train multiple times a day. There's nothing stopping you training multiple times a day. And here's the thing. If right now the biggest problem in your life is jacking off and watching porn and scrolling, literally doing anything is better than this. So if you, let's say it's like, it's 5 p.m. and then you think, oh man, I'm about to jack off, it's fucking annoying, whatever. Let's say you go to the gym again, and it feels weird for you to do that because you've already went to the gym. Your mother's going to ask you, wait, what? You're going to the gym again? You're like, yeah, I want to go do cardio, whatever. Imagine you've not just once stopped yourself from jacking off because you're not at home in your little gooning bedroom, but you've went somewhere public and you kind of forget about it, whatever. But also too, you've just burnt like 200 calories and you just improved the health of your heart that day. And maybe you spoke to a few people there. You leveled up your social skills as well. It's a very clear win-win. So us guys on self-improvement need to fucking understand this. Trust me, please just listen to this lesson. Doing 1 workout a day is the minimum you should do. But guys like us should be training like twice a day. Honestly, I know that sounds crazy for so many people because we're so biased in the sort of weightlifting lens. We go to the gym for resistance training to build muscle and strength. That training twice a day sounds crazy. But remember, the type of training you do can fucking change, right? So you go to the kickboxing or the martial arts gym and you do a session there. And you also do weightlifting on the same day. Or you wake up, you do your normal weightlifting or your calisthenics workout, and then you go on a long run or exercise bike, or you go to some mobility class, some Pilates, stretching yoga class or something. There's nothing stopping you from doing 2 bits of like exercise a day, even 3, honestly. And all these fucking fat little out of breath pussies on the internet will tell you, no, this is overtraining, that's crazy. I'm telling you right now, the level of fitness that we aspire to, like the fucking hard, disciplined athlete level. Like if you're the type of guy who watches like those MMA, UFC fight reels on Instagram, every fucking one of those guys is training 2, 3 times a day minimum. I'm telling you. I literally just trained kickboxing for a fight, and I was going to this gym full of pro fighters. Every single one of them train like 3 to 4 sessions per day, plus they coach other people. Now, they're pro fighters. They're getting paid for this. This is their job. Okay, sure. But you have enough free time. Don't you fucking lie and think, oh, I don't have time for that. Motherfucker, you edge for a fucking hour, right? So don't you fucking think I don't have time for this. What's your fucking screen time on all these dirty apps that you use per week? Easily 10 hours, right? Maybe more, even like 20 hours per week. Don't you fucking lie to yourself and say, oh, I don't have time for this shit. Yes, you fucking do. And what's going to be higher leverage, like higher ROI for you than other than getting fitter? Like the fitter you are, the better everything in your life is. You know this, right? And I'm telling you, the cutoff point to this, this sort of diminishing returns doesn't happen for a while. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if you do one workout a day, your life will go up like this. If you do 2 workouts a day, your life will go up even more, correlative to that fucking one. I'm telling you. The only thing is, again, I've got to make this clear. You probably want to do 2 resistance training, like weightlifting sessions per day. But you absolutely could add in a cardio session. And if you changed nothing else, but you just did more cardio, you'd just get fucking leaner and your face would get more angular and attractive. It's like, that's fucking awesome. Your skin would get better. Your abs would be more visible. That's fucking awesome. Why wouldn't you want that benefit compared to you just sat at home in your fucking little bedroom, jacking off and being like, oh man, this is so hard. When I have a kid who tells me like, oh, Hamza, I just can't stop jacking off, I tell him like, why the fuck are you not spending like 5 hours a day at the gym? Even when you finish the gym, why don't you just sit there with your fucking journal, take your fucking laptop there, take your journal, your phone, sit down, even eat there. And again, if you go to a little fucking warehouse gym where it's not really nice to sit down in, okay, I can understand that. But then save some fucking money, right? Start the business, work some random job that you can find. Save some money, and the equivalent of like $100 USD or £100 GBP or whatever. And if you're in India, that's like way cheaper, whatever. The equivalent of that much money, you can join one of like the best fucking gyms, health clubs around in your city. And yeah, you might have to commute or whatever, but then those type of health clubs, you can literally spend all day in. Like it's like a phrase that the one I go to is there's a phrase that everyone uses, which is like, oh yeah, I spend all day here. Because you actually can in these kinds of gyms where there's like multi-gyms, there's outdoors and indoors, there's a restaurant, there's a pool, there's a sauna, there's 4 different places to sit down, like where there's air conditioning, whatever. You can literally take your laptop and do 2 classes a day and do your weightlifting session, then go do cardio, then go do a breathwork mobility class. You can literally go to the gym and come home 6 hours later and you did a lot of fun shit in that time. That's the kind of gym that I want you to aspire to going to. Now, the next piece of advice I want to give you is what to do when the urge arises. Most advice online is actually shitty, even though it sounds good. Like, think about it. You've heard this advice where when the urge arises, people will tell you like, oh, bro, just take a deep breath, bro. Just take a deep breath and just try and do this other thing. And the problem with most advice when it comes to when an urge happens is you'll forget to do it, right? When the urges hit you today, you won't remember to take a fucking deep breath. And even if you do, bro, 5 seconds later, your dick's going to be hard and you're going to jack off. So I'm going to give you the best piece of advice you could possibly hear. You better fucking remember this and implement this. When the urges hit, they hit you because you are in the physical location where you usually are about to jack off. So for example, you're in your bedroom at nighttime, or you're, you're coming home from school and you usually jack off after school or something. Urges are more about your physical location than you realize. So what do you think the technique is that I'm going to tell you? Move. Physically get up and get away from that environment. Basically, like move with some aggression, right? So imagine you're like lying down at 6 p.m. You're a bit tired, whatever. You just come back home from school, you showered, you're about like, and you're getting the urges to jack off right now. Instead of you just kind of being sat there in the exact fucking position where you usually jack off, aggressively stand up, grab your shit and go somewhere. Like even if you go for a walk at nighttime, even if you fucking go stand in your back garden and your parents will think it's weird, it's like 10 p.m. while you stood outside in the darkness, you just say, oh, I just wanted to get some fresh air, I'm just looking at the sky, whatever. Go to a particular environment where you usually don't relapse. I want you to do this action step. The next time you feel one of those intense urges, look around physically where you are, and it's most likely where you literally jack off. And just think about how absurd it is for you to stay sat there. Like, think about it. You usually will get the urge when you're literally sat or lying down in the position where you usually jack off. So how insane is it that you will just try, like you'll stay there, you're on your phone and you're thinking, yeah, don't jack off, try not to jack off. Yeah, I might do it today. If I do it today, I could do it like 3 times, then I'll start tomorrow. Why would you stay physically in that same fucking location? Grab your shit, get up and fucking move, even if it's the middle of the night. Because the thing is, look, what do you think's going to piss you off more? You relapsing in the middle of the night, waking up tomorrow being like, fuck me, I'm back on day 0 again, or you just getting up, moving around, going to your back garden for a bit, and then going to sleep after that, where you wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh, I'm still on day X, like, I didn't relapse, but I maybe lost like 10 minutes of my sleep because I went downstairs or something. You're not going to be upset about the random sleep or the random discomfort of getting up and going somewhere. You're going to be upset with the fact that you fucking relapsed again. This is why the piece of advice I just gave you in the previous section, it's not crazy for you to go to the gym again. People go to the gym at 8 p.m. They go to the gym at 5 a.m. It's not crazy that if you're getting these urges at random times, you're like, fuck it. If I stay here, most likely I'm going to jack off. I'm not going to do anything productive when I'm getting these mad urges. I'm not even going to study or anything. I'm telling you, like, most of the advice online is so shit when people tell you, yeah, just try and study and meditate. Trust me, I tried that shit as a guy who fucking meditates, and it never fucking worked for me because it's more about the physical. When you get an urge, it's the physical. So fucking grab your shit, put your earphones in, and go to the fucking gym. There's nothing stopping you going to the gym 2-3 times a day. And I guarantee if you just take this advice over the next few months, you will literally look back as this jacked, lean version of you that's not jacking off and spewing your fucking seed everywhere, thinking, oh yeah, like, I stopped jacking off as much and I'm also fucking shredded. Fuck yeah. That was fucking awesome advice that I heard from Hamza. All of this other advice that I've heard from literally every single NoFap video I ever clicked on never fucking worked for me. Take a deep breath, bro. Fuck you. That shit does not fucking work for this. Taking a deep breath and breath work and meditation is still good for you. But when you are getting intense urges to do something bad, that's when you need some aggressive action. You don't just stay sat there in your gooning position trying to breathe it away. You grab your shit and you fucking move. Click and watch this video. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.